Chief of Defense Staff, Armed Forces of Nigeria, General C.G. Musa, OFR. I humbly welcome you all to the press briefing in respect of the Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit 2025, holding right here at the Defense Headquarters New Conference Room, Abuja. Before we proceed, please acquaint you with the order of program. Immediately after now, I shall be introducing members of the high table. Thereafter, the press briefing will commence properly. And after that, we shall move into the interactive session, and finally, the group photographs. Distinguished members of the committee, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, at this juncture, permit me to introduce the members of the high table. I'd like to start by introducing the coordinator, Major General O.T. Akinjobi, retired. Next is the chairman, Air Vice Marshal P.M. Amadi, is the committee chairman. Next is Air Commodore A.S. Ogumudede, retired member. Next is Brigadier General O. Adege, member. Next is Commodore G.M.T. Kumangeri, member. We also have on the high table Mr. Mutum Ajayi. Distinguished committee members, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, may I now respectfully invite the coordinator, Chief of Defense South African Summit 2025, the person of Major General O.T. Akinjobi, retired, to commence with the press briefing. The coordinator, sir.
The Chairman, African Chief of Defense Staff Summit Committee, Air Vice Marshal Precious Amadi, members of the committee, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you all this afternoon to our press conference, which is actually a briefing on the forthcoming African Chief of Defense Staff Summit holding in Abuja. To shed light on the brief, may I invite the chairman of this committee, the person of Air Vice Marshal Precious Amadi, to deliver the brief.
Thank you very much, sir. The coordinator, African Chief of Defense Staff Summit, the person of Major General O.T. Akinjobi, retired or not tired, distinguished members of the advisory committee, members of the African Politics Committee, members of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. It is my singular honor and pleasure to welcome you to this inaugural press briefing for the African Chief of Defense Staff Summit 2025 holding in Abuja, Nigeria. As the coordinator has said, we are here to just inform you about the event and seek your collaboration on how we can run this event and make it a success and benefit of Nigeria. On that note, I'll read a short brief which will pass around to all of you about the copy, and then we'll take questions and answers from everybody as necessary. So Africa and indeed the whole world currently faces a myriad of contemporary security challenges across the spectrum of terrorism, armed conflicts, organized crimes, and arms trafficking. The particular transnational nature of these threats demand that nations collaborate to confront them. To this end, African Chiefs of Defense Staff Summit, ACDSS for short, was conceptualized by the Chief of Defense Staff, General C.G. Musa, OFR, as the premier platforms for the Chiefs of Chief of Defense Staff across the continent to engage in dialogue on shared defense and security mechanisms to enhance defense capabilities amongst African nations. Truly, in the light of the current realities, it has become imperative to seek African solutions to African problems. In recognition of this, the President, Commander of the Armed Forces, His Excellency Bola Ahmed Tinubu, DCFR, has granted approval for the defense sector Summit is combating contemporary threats, regional peace and security in Africa, the role of strategic defense collaborations. And this summit will cover 4 thematic areas, namely discussions on policy securities and strategy for African security issues, facilitating collaborative responses to peace and security issues within the African continent, developing mechanisms for integrating the private sector into African defense efforts, and lastly, establishing a roundtable for the initiation of homegrown solutions to African defense problems and issues. The summit is scheduled to hold from 25th to 27th of August at the Bola Ahmed Tinubu International Conference Center, Abuja, and the Transport Hilton Hotel, all in Abuja here. The event is also expected to showcase African defense capabilities through defense exhibition, which will concurrently hold with the summit at the venue for the event. The exhibition is particularly important as it becomes imperative to adopt homegrown solutions and responses to emerging threats, especially through support to local manufacturing companies for the African defense industry. Invited guests include over 53 chiefs of defense staffs from across African countries, resource persons from across the globe, some foreign partners, as well as senior retired and serving military officers. Other guests include heads of the African Union and ECOWAS commissions, state governors, foreign ministers, government offices, officials and offices, and heads of various security agencies, amongst others. To interest you to know that the summit is being organized in conjunction with African Business Roundtable, the Nigerian company who are consultants to this event and very exposed and capable of handling such events. So we are working with them for this event, and they've been very helpful, and we hope that we will achieve more as we work with African Business Roundtable for this event. Ministry of Foreign Affairs is also supporting us by reaching out to other stakeholders to support and partner with this event. It's on this premise that the Defense Headquarters is equally seeking your support, your collaboration, and your partnership to make the African Chief of Defense Staff Summit 2025 a huge success. It is to be emphasized that the hosting of the event is a testament to the leadership role Nigeria plays in Africa. Leveraging on this, let us join hands to make the country the hub of defense and security issues in Africa, while promoting a safe and secure African continent at the same time. While we appreciate your efforts and commitment support the armed forces of Nigeria, we urge you to extend that same support to this summit's organizing committee for the successful hosting of the event. Thank you, and God bless.
Thank you very much, sir. The request another round of applause for the chairman. Up next is the interactive session where we engage, ask questions, and also share ideas. So if there are questions, please indicate with the raise of hand, and the microphone will be passed to you. So journalists, if you have questions, please indicate, or you also press the key on your mic and you can go ahead.
My name is Martha. We are both for Voice of Nigeria. Good afternoon, sirs. What outcome or resolution are expected from this summit? Thank you.
All right, thank you for your question. The Voice of Nigeria correspondent. Like the chairman well stated, we'll be looking at discussions on collective strategies for African security concerns. That will be the first and primary objective of the conference. We'll be seeking collaborative response, talking about no one doing it alone, the joint and combined mindset for some of the challenges addressing the threats that face the African continent. Of course, it also be a platform for these big wigs and defense establishments to begin to understand themselves and discuss better ways of relating across the globe. I think in a nutshell, that's what we're seeing. Don't forget this is a maiden edition of the summit, and a lot of things will ride upon the success of this one for subsequent editions by God's grace. Thank you.
Okay, we take.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Kakadi. I write for Leadership Institute. In recent times, we've had strained relationship with some of our neighboring countries in the West African region. And your briefing said 53 countries. So if we add Nigeria, that's 54. All the countries and on the continent. I want to know if you've gotten their nod. I'm talking about Niger, Mali, Burkina Faso. If you've gotten their nod to attend this conference, this summit.
The numbers don't translate to countries. You can find
Okay, thank you very much for the leadership. Well, we are military, we are not political. We don't get involved in political issues as much as possible. I can tell you with all confidence that under the Multinational Joint Task Force, Niger Republic is still participating, even though we have a great political relationship with them. So, Mali, Niger Republic, Burkina Faso, not that we should be there militarily because one threat to one is a threat to all. So if you focus on the political issue, then you have this kind of discussion. But on the military side, we are working together. One of ECOWAS from the first conference here, and most of them attended the ECOWAS conference. So we're not having any, but I'm just writing to them, informing them. I'm getting responses from most of the countries we're written to on their plan to participate and attend in person, not just in the representative. So I think we have no issue with that. We are political. With the military side, I can confident with the military side, even though we did so to our political leaders. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much. In addition to what the chairman has said, please take note that despite what is going on, these countries still maintain that their defense sections. So as I speak with you and the director of foreign affairs, all three countries still have their defense attaches in this country. So when the chairman said we're still engaging in terms of military, they did not withdraw their defense attache. Meaning what? Meaning on that platform they were invited and it's expected that those invitations will be granted. Thank you very much. I just needed to clarify.
Yes, lady on board.
Thank you very much. My name is Olayemi Esan. I work for Spike TV. My question is on security, on terrorism and insurgency. How will this meeting address the threat of terrorism and insurgency in Africa? Because as we look at it, we have different groups attacking each African countries. In Nigeria, we have ISWAP, Boko Haram. In Chad, we have theirs, in Niger, Cameroon, and all that. So how will this meeting address the threats of terrorism and insurgency in Africa?
All right, thank you, Elijah. If I may let you know, the meeting is yet to be held. The summit of not be held. That question is for the summit. And I believe the meetings, the events in Africa will attend to that your question when the meet on August 2027. Thank you.
sir.
Yes, go ahead.
My name is Beniga Olamikun. My name is Beniga Olamikun. Yes, I work with GTV Africa. Sir, Africa Chief of Defense Staff are planning to find solution rights provided by their own. Are we going to be looking at the other side to seek for weapons to use, or are we going to produce our own way up? Is the meeting going to tackle such?
Thank you, David, for that very important question. If you remember during the brief, I said one of the things we seek to accomplish during the summit is including mechanisms for integrating public-private sector into African defense efforts. To develop an African defense industrial hub. So not to depend on foreigners and everything. We need to manufacture some within Nigeria, within other countries. And if I'll give an example. The Nigerian company, GoForce, they manufacture a lot of things. And we buy from them. If they don't grow solution to a no problem. If you have to depend on importing these items all the time, the cost, all that, keep us from GoForce and the Nigerian company that produce their affordable in Nigeria. So the conference will seek to answer these questions. Where Africa will know all these capabilities, Morocco has, Tunisia has, South Africa has, brings all these collaborative defense efforts together to have a homegrown African solution to African problems. We are looking forward to that, and it's something to answer that. After the summit, you will have an answer to this question just asked again. Thank you very much.
Yes, Sir Charles.
My name is Kingsley Obono, Nigerian newspapers. Mr. Chairman and coordinator, sir. During your speech, you made mention of the fact that the Africa Business Roundtable is partnered with for this summit. Please, we would like you to enlighten us, tell us specifically what is Africa Business Roundtable doing in such the security matters such as this. Thank you.
Okay, I'll invite the African Business Roundtable correct. Actually, they are consultants to us. So it's not as if they are consultants to us for this event. I'm a soldier, a military man. You need a civilian component to help you run some things that are not within your own purview to run. So they are consultants to the African Defense and so engage with the African Defense. So Mr. Doto will add some voice to that.
Well, thank you so much for your question. Well, security matters has not beyond its mission component in our lives, so I agree with you on that. And in the confluence of security and stability, not only in Africa, across the globe, you see the focus of solution. It's a shared responsibility. And one of the points the chairman referred to is how to bring the private sector into the mainstream of defense efforts. So we need a public-private sector partnership. So while the military represents the policy aspect of it, the African Business Roundtable will focus more on the private sector engagements. In this regard, we're looking at a broad spectrum of activities that need to support the military solution that we're looking at. Thank you so much.
Any other question? Members of the press, any other question?
On live to GTV Africa, and you've just been listening to the plans that the Chief of Defense Staffs are having to have homegrown solution to homegrown problem, and very soon by August 25 to 27 of this year, the Chief of Defense Staffs will be holding meeting in Abuja, and Abuja will play host to such, and the first time that such meeting will be coming up in Nigeria and in Africa. And I want to be sure that the problems Africans are having as regards to security will be tackled by the Chief of Defense Staffs in Africa. You can imagine the numbers of Chief of Defense that will be coming up to Abuja, and
You're interested in what we're doing, and we see your collaboration. If you observe, military is becoming very press friendly. We are becoming more press friendly because we need efforts of the press to tell the world what we are doing. Not just a good force, we are people of culture, training, and discipline. The press is one avenue that can use to that the session with you, what we call it here, what we attend and we share more information. Thank you very much.
Where you just heard him, I just have to pause for you to listen to exactly what he wants to say. Now, the military are now making it open to press to have opportunity to see what they are doing and to have first-hand information given. Now, the plan is that military, the chief of defense staffs, will be holding a meeting, the first time meeting in Nigeria, and the meeting is going to be. Like I said, the chief of defense staffs in Africa are going to be holding the first ever summit on homegrown solution to the problems of security in Africa. And I want to believe that GTV will be bringing to you activities when the summit comes up to. When the summit comes to Abuja. Well, on this note, I want to draw the curtain for the opportunity of bringing this to you. Thank you so much for your time. For those of you that miss, you can go back and check what the briefing is all about. And if you are yet to subscribe to GTV Africa, kindly subscribe so that you can be having the opportunity of having everything that is going on live, right, in the city of Abuja and the environment. Thank you so much for your time. I'm Bemiga Olamikon for GTV Africa.
The chairman, give us the items basically we take the first picture, sir. Give us the items, sir.
Go for that.
The next one, let them get ready. You can announce the next one.
Members of the committee,
Should get ready for the next one. We don't have. We'll do that without it. Yeah.